Etherly, also known as Chud the Builder, and another man were both shot during this exchange. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry has more on the investigation.
Controversial streamer Dalton Etherly, known online as Chud the Builder, is accused of shooting a man outside the Montgomery County Courthouse. The sheriff's office says both Etherly and another man were taken to the hospital for medical treatment. After the shooting, Etherly appeared to keep live streaming for several minutes. In the video, Etherly can be heard saying, quote, "Man, I just pray that dude is going to be all right. I tried to walk away from him." Court records show Etherly was scheduled for a civil debt appearance that morning in Montgomery County. In Etherly's stream, he claimed the incident started after a man laughed at him. Etherly claims he walked away after interacting with the man. The man followed him, and a fight broke out. That's when Etherly drew his weapon. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is pursuing charges against Etherly for criminal attempted murder, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Etherly is also facing a separate criminal case in Nashville. He's accused of refusing to pay a $400 bill to Bob's Steak and Chop House downtown and screaming racial slurs. Etherly has over 226,000 followers on X, all due to his live streams where he's shown in places like Broadway, Clarksville, and Gatlinburg, insulting and calling people racial slurs. In a Give Send Go post, Etherly writes, "I've shared mild jokes, unfiltered thoughts, and yes, sometimes I've used the N-word in what I thought was edgy, harmless humor. I know it's controversial, but it's my right to speak freely." Etherly is booked into the Montgomery County Jail, where he's being held without bond. He will have his arraignment and bond hearing on Friday. In Nashville, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
So he's speaking about his right to speak, but he's spewing hate speech. See, because if you go and say that about the protected group, automatically that's hate speech. What is there on the books to protect us when you got a person walking up to a black person using that word, knowing the history of this country and how that word was used towards black people, right? So what provisions are set in place where we got, if you have, let's put it in perspective, right? If you have a white man, a W, coming to you, calling you the N-word, and we got to go to a W to get justice, what's provisions there to protect us? We don't have any. So that's why that's called hate speech. You can't use those words. So now he thought that this would be open and shut. He would be able to claim self-defense, go to court, and they'll let him go. But man, he had a rude awakening when he got there.
Just like we do every day. If you can't do that, I'll give you a chance to go ahead and leave now, because anybody that calls any kind of disturbance at all is subject to being in direct contempt and serving 10 days in jail and a $50 fine or both. Just want you to know that. We're not going to put up with any outbursts or any shenanigans today. Okay? Any questions? Okay. What do we got? State versus Dalton Etherly. And bring us Etherly out. Good morning, Mr. Etherly. Good morning, Mr. You're here this morning, case number 26 CR 5295. You're charged in count 1 of criminal homicide, 39-13-201. That's an A felony. It's punishable by 15 to 60 years in state penitentiary. Count 2 is deployment of firearm during a dangerous felony, 39-17-13-24. That's a D felony. Normally, that range of punishment would be 2 to 4 years in state penitentiary. However, by statute, this case is a charge is enhanced, and if you don't have any prior convictions, it's a mandatory 6-year sentence at 100%. Count 3 is ag assault with serious bodily harm, 39-13-102. It's a C felony, carries a range of punishment 3 to 15 years in state penitentiary. Count 4 is reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, also a C felony, 3 to 15 years in state penitentiary. Have you hired an attorney yet, sir?
So Chud is screwed, right? So Chud, he had this give, send, go where he was trying to raise money because he don't have a job, and he was online just cutting up, carrying on, right? So he has in this give, send, go, he has where he says, "Dear friends, supporters, and champions of free speech, my name is Dalton Etherly. I am reaching out with a heavy heart, fighting to protect my family, my business. Just over 1 year ago, I started DLE Contracting in Clarksville, Tennessee, out of sheer necessity. I was fired from my previous contracting job after BLM activists targeted me over words I shared online, jokes, and opinions. They twisted to end my career. With no other way to support my family and my precious 2-year-old son, I poured everything into a small business, working tirelessly to provide for my family and build a future. But now the dream is under attack, not from the quality of my work, but for what I say online. I shared mild jokes, unfiltering thoughts, and yes, sometimes I use the N-word and what I thought was edgy. Humor's humor. I know it's controversial, but it's my right to freely speak. For that, hundreds of people in my city are slandering my business, spreading lies to tear down everything I work for. The hate has escalated to a horrifying level. I've received death threats so vile that they shake me to my core. People threatening to hurt, to assault and unalive me, and even targeting my innocent 2-year-old son with unspeakable cruelty. As a father, hearing these threats against my little boy breaks my heart and keeps me up at night. In the midst of this nightmare, a spark of hope emerged, and I went viral on Instagram. So this guy is going around antagonizing black people, doing all kinds of wild stuff, and then making excuses for it, right? He's going up to black people. He's going to black spaces to mess with them. This is what he's doing, invoking the N-word, right? And what provisions are there to protect black people from it? We have no way of knowing what that judge would do when he went in front of that W judge. We're at the mercy of those things, right? So then a bonds person came out and spoke because his bail was set so high, right? We as bondsmen in Montgomery County have local rules which require a bonding company per 100K, right? Bonds. Sometimes they let us go up to 250K depending on circumstances. So that will make it to where at the very least there would need to be 9 companies involved, if not more, depending on the judge's decision. But I will say that out of the 20 companies that are here, majority of us have said we won't touch that bond due to the severity of the case and this man being a threat to our community. So realistically, if he doesn't have 1.5 million, he will sit there, right? And there are a lot of W folks that's not going to touch that don't want to be involved in that because they have a business, and there are a lot of black people and POC people of color that frequents their business. So they don't want to go out of business just dealing with people like Chud. Their business is open to everybody of all races. So they're not going to touch this. But let's keep looking at what happened in court.
You have?
Well, I have to check him.
Okay, Mr. Finley's here. You been hired yet, Mr. Finley? I know you have a prior relationship with him in other cases.
No way it's changed.
No, all right. So I'm going to appoint Mr. Finley right now to represent you. Should you make your bond and you want to hire if you make bond, you're going to need to probably hire Mr. Finley. I'm going to set this for preliminary hearing on the 26th of May. All right. That'll be inside the 14 days, Mr. Finley. Does that work for your calendar? Yes, sir. Not yet. I'm about to do that. I want to make sure he's got an attorney and all that stuff first.
Yes, sir. May 26th.
Okay. All right. Bond. Bond's not been said yet. General, do you have a position on bond today?
Yeah, Mr. Etherly is on bond on 2 cases, one from here, one from the Davidson County.
Okay.
Pending a hearing where the court can be informed and make a decision based on bond factors. I respectfully request to be held without bond until a day we can have the hearing.
Okay.
So the court can make an informed decision. Right now it would just be arbitrary.
Okay.
Number.
All right. Thank you, General. When the court sets bond, if we have a bond, when we have a bond hearing, we'll consider TCA 4011-118 The overriding intent of that statute now is to protect the public interest and public safety. Mr. Easley's on bond apparently on several other matters when this matter was allegedly committed. I'm looking at an A and then really a super D, a C, really 3 C's and an A really for tracking kind of purposes. It's pretty serious.
Your Honor mentioned criminal homicide. I thought that was attempted.
Did I say homicide? I meant to say attempted criminal homicide if I didn't.
Okay.
I thought I did, but that's still an A felony.
Yes.
Okay.
So bail, we're gonna have a
I'm gonna set just a bond right now after we have our bail hearing. Then I'll let you make all the arguments. We can go through all the factors in the statute and see if that gets amended up or down. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to set initial bond at 1.25 million, based upon the fact of how many people in the courtyard were here at the courthouse, and the seriousness of all these felonies, and his bond status. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the 26th at 9 o'clock, I'm sorry, the 21st at 9 o'clock for a bond hearing, and the 26th at 9 for a preliminary hearing right here. Does that work for everybody's calendar? General, does that work for the state?
Yes.
All right.
Just for the court's information, Mr. Finley, state is going to request to file a source hearing when and if there's an attempt to make law.
Okay. Is there any objection of us taking all those matters up at the bond hearing on the 21st? And Mr. Finley, do you have any objection to doing it that way? That's the most efficient way.
So he's fried. His bail is set at over $1 million. He's done. And we've seen a lot of these other groups, W supremacist groups, come out against him. Nobody wants to touch him or be affiliated with him. These bonds people don't want to be affiliated with them, right? But even Nick Fuentes said this.
Base farmer sent $20, praying that Chud has at least one wingman on his jury and no grow eyebers. Free Chud.
I say send him to jail. Honestly, I don't think what he did was defensible. Yeah, at a certain point, if you're running around with a gun antagonizing people and then you shoot somebody, it's one thing if somebody attacks you for no reason and you shoot them. It's another thing if it's like, here I am with my live stream where I provoke confrontations. I hope I don't have to kill anybody today. I don't know, man. I wish that he could just reform and, they give him a slap on the wrist and he doesn't do anything again, but that's just, that was going to happen no matter what.
Lana Del Rey Grower percent $20. Scorpion Grower percent $50.
Right.
Do we support Chud and donate to his legal fund?
No.
He's white after all and blacks always support blacks no matter what. Or do we not? And let this be an example that will never support that wignut behavior?
I wouldn't encourage any more of that.
So when you go into Nick Fuentes' comment section, you get a chance to see a lot of nasty, vile things that certain groups of people were saying about black folks. And I'm going to tell you something. About what's going on in this country with the way Trump ran and what he ran on, whether you like Trump or not, right? Trump running on this stuff opened up the door, because remember, people were saying, well, this is not a racist country anymore. America's not racist. We are moving into the future and where things are different, right? This is what they were saying, right? Trump has been a so-called necessary evil to open up the door and show America's ugly face. These people have always been there. They just went undercover. Now they're coming out and they're boldly speaking the way that they speak. This is the way that they always thought. They never went anywhere. They was there. They're your judges, your lawyers, your police officers, your doctors, you're everywhere, right? And that's not to say that everybody, but what we're seeing going on in America right now between the radical right and radical left, and you have some good white folks arguing against the other group, right? And nobody can say this hate speech, because why is there Chud and why is there people agreeing with Chud? Millions of people agreeing with Chud. There's millions of people disagreeing with Chud. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. But the mere fact that you have people that are out here supporting 1950s and 40s talking points and ways of thinking lets you know that America still has a long way to go. Because the mental and social fabric of America was built on racism. And it's still there. And a lot of people want to make America great again. They want to take it back to the old way. So Chud just came out and was able to go on these platforms and talk the way he talked, right? Go on these platforms and speak in the manner in which he speaks for so long. and garner an audience because there's millions of people, unfortunately, that agree with Chud. And as black people, we've been saying this for a long time, and it's been going on deaf ears. Oh, y'all just complain too much. Oh, you guys were just victims. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because there's a lot of powerful people that agree with Chud, unfortunately, in positions, but they're not going to come out and speak like Chud. That's why they didn't want Chud speaking that way. We even played a video of a guy that was saying he agreed with Chud, but he don't want Chud. He thinks Chud's approach is wrong because it exposes their agenda. They don't even have a problem saying it. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.